Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to teach you portal frame. This is in Mumbai University, Theory of Structure 8, Semester 9 for architecture students. So let us start. The basic definition of portal frame is it is a rigid frame or a structure which is joined monolithically. Monolithically means made of one material or at one go by columns and beams at the junction. Reinforced concrete portal frames can be single bay and multi bay. So as you can see that here I have given four drawings, that single bay portal frame, then sloping roof, but it is a single bay but sloping roof. Generally this type of portal frame is used in the workshops. Then you can see the multi-storied portal frame. So here it is more than one story, and multi bay means you can also understand that there are more than one span over here. So these are the different types of portal frames. Let us look at the advantages. So portal frames are fire resistant and have negligible maintenance cost. So that gives the advantage of any other structure to the portal frame. And applications, we know that where it can be used in bridges, industrial structure like workshops, storage sheds. That previous slide only I have shown you that there is a sloping roof which comprises of the purlins and the asbestos sheet roofing, and highway buildings. So there are several applications of the portal frame. Let us have a look at the different design aspect for the portal frames. Number one, in case of a building, you remember that the portal frames are spaced generally at a rate of 3 meter to 4 meter with RC slab cast monolithically between the frames. So spacing interval is 3 to 4 meter. That is the takeaway. Point number two, base of the column of the portal frames, they are either fixed or hinged. So for the purpose of structural analysis, if individual column footings are provided, the base is assumed to be hinged. But if we provide the raft or the pile foundation, then the base is assumed to be fixed. Correct? So what is the take point? If the base is fixed, we provide raft or pile foundation. If the base is hinged, we can go for the isolated footing. Number three, portal frames are analyzed by the different methods like moment distribution method, MDM. So this method I will be taking up in my video. So please see my another video where I have solved two numericals on the portal frame, the current video and the next one coming up. Then there is slope deflection method, there is column analogy method and the matrix method. As you remember that in the TOS 4 we have already studied about the moment distribution method. Already we are conversant with that method. Hence in this portal frame, that is the semester 9, I have taken up this MDM method to solve the portal frame. Fourth point is the roof slab between the frame is analyzed as a continuous slab. So this is very important that here also, if you remember, we have solved the TOS 4 that how to design a continuous beam, or how to not design aspect, but how to find out the support reactions or the given the loading on the continuous beam. So that aspect can also be used over here. So the roof slab of the portal frame is analyzed as a continuous slab. Fifth point, mid-span section of the frame behaves as a T-section while the support is designed as a rectangular section. This is also very important point. And the last design aspect which is important, that is the when a large number of similar frames are used in a building project, then the portal frames precast. Correct? Why? Because it reduces the construction time, it is economical, because the quality is better, and it is also efficiently utilized the material. Okay, so these are the different design aspect of the portal frame. Now let us have a look at the example. So design a portal frame hinged at a base to suit the following data. Spacing of portal frames is 4 meter center. Height of the columns 3.72 meter. Distance between the column center is 10 meter. Total load on roof is 28 kilonewton per meter. Safe bearing capacity of the soil at site is 200 kilonewton per meter square. And adopt M20 grade concrete and Fe 415 grade taut steel. Okay, so this is the problem. Let us see how to solve it. So here I have drawn the diagram, that is center to center distance between the column is 10 meter. Then height of the column is 3.72 meter. Then 28 kilonewton per meter is the load acting on the roof. And see, with the red color I have written the column and the beam dimension, that we will derive that how we are coming to that data. That is not given in the question, that's why I have written it with red pen. And here in this problem I will solve it by the working stress method. So for the M20 grade of concrete and Fe 415 grade of steel, these are the some values, code values. I have written it over here. Sigma CB is 7 MPa, sigma ST 230 MPa, and R is equal to 0.897, A modular ratio 13, Q is 0.897, and J is 0.906. So let us start. Okay, step number 1, design of the portal frame. First of all, effective span of the beam, it is given 10 meter. So 10 meter means 10 to the power 4 millimeter. Correct? Effective depth, let us assume it as small d. Now you remember, for heavy loading on the beam, it is given in the IS 456, that is L by D, that is span by effective depth. This value, this ratio should vary between 12 to 15. So let us see that if we take L by D equal to 12, that is L is how much? 10 to the power 4 span of the beam. What is D? D is the effective depth. So if we take the ratio as 12, then D is coming as 833 millimeter. And suppose if we take L by D equal to 15, then D is coming as 666 millimeter. So our effective depth for this effective span of the beam can come between 666 to 833. In between this value you can assume one value for the effective depth. Correct? So let us adopt D equal to 700 millimeter. Now what will be the overall depth? Overall depth will be effective depth plus clear cover. So let us take it as 50. So it will be capital D 750 millimeter. Now assume the width of the beam is 450 millimeter. Now this is just on your experience that how we will assume the depth of the beam. You take anything 400, 450 like this way. Okay. So column section will be, you assume that 450 by 600. This value also you assume, width of the beam as well as the column section. So we have found out the beam overall depth as 750 and width we have assumed it as 450. So beam cross section, overall cross section 450 by 750. Column cross section we have assumed it as 450 by 600. So let us start. Now beam is the BC part, that is the beam part is moment of inertia for BC is 112 BD cube. So 112 into 450 into 750 cube, that is 15.8 into 10 raised to 9 millimeter to the power 4. And moment of inertia for the column AB, that comes out to be 112 into 450 into 600 cube. So that comes out to be 5.76 into 10 raised to 9. Okay, so here see, here we have taken the different cross section, but to ease your calculation you can take both beam and the column cross section as same. So your moment of inertia will also come same. Here we have column, we have taken 600 na, and beam we have taken 750, but to avoid calculation, because here we have assumed, so if you want you can just take the same dimension. What will happen? The I value will not be different, I value will be same. So that is having advantage at your later stage. So we will see that where we are having the advantage if I value is same. Okay, now find out the relative stiffness. What is relative stiffness? KBA is equal to 3 EI by 4L, and 3 E value we do not know, let it keep it as E, and then put the value of I and put the value of the length of the part BA. So that gives us to be 1.58 into 10 raised to 9 E. Similarly, KBC is equal to EI by L. So that gives us the value as 1.58 into 10 raised to 9 E. So distribution factor BA is KBA plus divided by KBA plus KBC. So that gives us to be 0.5, and DF of BC comes out to be 0.5. Here I want to take a pause and tell you that please see my other video on the portal frame, where I have explained it in detail, what is the stiffness, how we can find out the distribution factor, why the formula are like that way. In that video I have discussed it in detail, so please see my other video on portal frame. So next is the fixed end moment BC. So as it is UDL, so that is minus WL square by 12, W is 28, L is 10. So that gives us to be minus 234 kilonewton meter, and FEM CB will be plus 234 kilonewton meter. Now we will come to the third step. Step number 3 is the moment distribution method. Please see my previous video, there I have explained the moment distribution method. Here I will take a quick recap of that. The first row will be, we write down the name of the joints. Now the second row is the name of the member, AB, BA, BC, CB, CD and DA. These are the member. Next is the distribution factor. Distribution factor comes out to be 0.5, 0.5, and for CB and CD also 0.5, 0.5. Then the next row comes as FEM. So FEM value we have got for BC minus 234, for CB it is plus 234. Now after this our table of the moment distribution starts. So it goes like this way: balance, carryover, balance, carryover. So we continue with this process, iterative process, and always remember the last row of the MDM will always be balance. It will end with balance. So the last row will always be balance, and finally, and we go for the iteration unless the value converges to the same value. So let us start, and in that process you will understand it. So up to FEM we have written down whatever we have done the calculation till now. Now our first step starts, balance. So in the first step, how we balance out the moment? See, at the joint B there are two members, BA and BC. At BC there is minus 234 kilonewton meter moment. So this moment has to be distributed among the member at joint B with their distribution factor, that is 0.5, 0.5. So minus 234 has to be balanced between two members of the joint B, BA and BC by 0.5, 0.5. So it comes out to be 117 and 117. Now balancing also means vectorially, that means it is minus 234. So how you can balance the negative moment? Just giving the positive moment over there. Hence it is plus 117 plus 117. I repeat. Now if we go for the joint C, in joint C what will happen? CB is having plus 234. So if we have to balance plus 234, we have to give minus moment to balance that, but minus how much moment we should give with respect to their distribution factor of the member, that is 0.5, 0.5. So it will be minus 117 minus 117 for CB and CD. So this means the balance. After that, then it is carryover. Carryover means that BC and CB they are having, so now that moment will be carried over, cross connected to the other member just by the value half. So minus 117 will come over here as minus 58.5. It is carry over, so it will be with the same sign but half of the value. And from here plus 117 will be plus 58.5. As it is carry over, so the sign will not be interchanged because here we are not balancing. In case of balancing, it will be interchanged. So the first two balance and carry over, if you have followed, so we go by this iterative process. And finally, you see over here we are getting plus 0.46 plus 0.46, the last row of the table. You see it over here. Now here one question may arise in your mind that in the previous step also somewhere we have got the same value. For example, 1.83, 1.83. I am talking about the balance row. 7.3, 7.3, 29.25, 29.25. We have got the same value. So why we have stopped over here and not earlier? So answer to the question is that in this case 0.46, here the value, see we have started with minus 234, correct na? So from minus 234 now we have reached till the decimal point, that is 0.46. It is very very small. So now we can close the table, correct? Or you can carry forward, so you can also carry forward till 0.0 something. So you can continue further, but okay, now we can stop over here because it has come to negligibly small value with what we have started. So the final moment, final row, how we will do it? So we add all the values in the given column wise. So under BA, whatever the FEM values are written, we add all this, obviously taking care of the positive and the negative sign. So like this way we complete the table. So now let us start the designing part. Design moment, maximum negative moment is at the support B, that is minus 156 kilonewton meter. So convert it in Newton millimeter, minus 156 into 10 raised to 6 Newton millimeter. Maximum positive moment is at the center of the span BC. So that comes out to be WL square by 8 minus 156. From where does it come? What is WL square by 8? WL square by 8 is the moment of due to UDL on the span, maximum value of the bending moment for a UDL on a simply supported span, that is the WL square by 8. But that will be the sagging moment, that is positive moment. But simultaneously there is the negative moment, minus 156 kilonewton meter is acting at the joint, that creates a hogging effect, hence it is minus. So WL square by 8 minus 156. So that gives us the value as 194 kilonewton meter. So 194 into 10 raised to 6 Newton millimeter. Now area of reinforcement AST, that can be found out, you know the formula for the working stress method. AST is equal to M divided by sigma ST into JD. So the value of M moment is 194 into 10 raised to 6, sigma ST is 230, J is 0.906 and D is 700 effective depth. So that gives the AST as 1329.9 millimeter square. Now you assume 22 millimeter diameter bar. So area, cross-sectional area of one bar is pi by 4 into 22 square, that is 380 millimeter square. So how we will find the number of bars required, that is total area divided by the individual reinforcement bar area. So 1329.9 divided by 380, that is equal to 4. So conclusion is provide 4 bars of 22 millimeter diameter for the span BC. Now let us look at the support reaction. So at the support the design moment is minus 156 into 10 raised to 6 Newton millimeter. So AST, area of the steel, how we will find out? Same formula, M divided by sigma ST JD. So 156 into 10 raised to 6, sigma ST 230, J is 0.906 and D is 700. So that gives us 1077 millimeter square. Now here you can take 20 millimeter diameter bar. So one bar area is 314 millimeter square. So number of bar required is total area AST divided by the single bar area. So 1077 divided by 314. So it gives us 3.42. That is we can assume that 4 number. So here you give for the support you give the 4 number of 20 millimeter diameter bar at the support. And here you can see the final diagram. I have drawn it over here. So here I have only designed for the main reinforcement, that is at the support part and as well as the roof part. Hope you have understood this video. Please put your comment, put your query in the comment box, or you can mail me at the given email ID. And also see my other videos on semester 7 and also for the other semester. And please go to my channel playlist, and there you can find the gate portion. So for the gate architecture I have discussed several subjects over there for your gate preparation. So please go to the playlist, and from there you choose gate architecture preparation, so that will also help you in your GATE preparation next year. So thanks for watching.